morning. Welcome to another edition of Yin Yoga Wake Up at the Beach. My name is Kim, and today I'm at the Oregon coast here offering this meditation and intro to Yin Yoga brief class. And I'll be joined by tales and just the sounds of the Oregon coast here at Beachside State Recreation. So wherever you are, go ahead and find yourself, lay out a mat, or if you would like to just do this from the comfort of your couch, make sure that you have some room around you that you can maybe twist your arms and just stretch out and feel like you can have a little bit of space. And as you guide yourself over to your mat, go ahead and just find yourself in a comfortable seat, making sure that you're as free of distractions as you can be for the next little bit. And go ahead and just find yourself in a comfortable seat when you're ready. And today we're actually going to move from our seat up to standing. So go ahead and move up from seated up to standing and just raise your arms up, tilt them to the left side of your body. Take a breath or two. And then on an inhale, bring your arms back up, looking up to the ceiling or the sky, and moving your arms over to the right side. Keeping yourself standing tall, your spine straight, just bending more to the right, taking another breath, then inhaling up to the center. Bringing your hands down, palms together to heart center. Go ahead and take a moment, drop your arms out to the side, raise them back like wings, and then we're going to swan dive forward into our first forward fold of this standing wake up meditation. Lift yourself up halfway. Then on an exhale, drop your hands back down. Maybe you want to bring your hands behind your back, stretch out your shoulders a little bit. Just fold yourself deeply. Inhaling for a halfway lift. And stepping our right foot back into a low lunge, stretching out our spine, opening up our hips a little bit. Taking a breath. Then on our next breath, bringing our foot back to the front of our mat, hands to our shins for a halfway lift, fingertips down. This time stretch our left foot back into a low lunge, open up your hip, open up your chest. And bringing that foot back forward, feet next to one another, dropping down into a forward fold, bending your knees, so just let your lower back release, inhaling to a halfway lift. And this time we'll jump back into a plank position. Adjusting your hands underneath your shoulders, keeping your spine more straight, coming down into a chaturanga, up into an upward facing dog. Then on our next breath, heading back to downward facing dog for a bit of a sun salutation. As we start our day, just really opening up and waking up our spine. Maybe you want to pedal your dog here a little bit, bending one knee at a time. Or maybe you want to stay still. Go ahead and look towards the top of your mat. Come back down into that plank-like position. Move through a chaturanga flow to an upward dog. Take a moment. And then back to downward facing dog. Maybe this time you want to try movement or stillness if you tried one the other time. When you're ready, hop your feet up to the top of your mat, to a forward fold, looking up for a halfway lift and folding back deeply. Inhaling our arms up above our head, bringing your hands down to palm center at our chest. Dropping our hands down to our sides, adjusting anything we need to, taking a breath, and just recentering in the standing pose before we lift both of our arms up above our head, bring our palms down to the center of our heart. And one more time, arms above our head. This time we'll swan dive forward into a forward fold. Keeping our feet planted, our knees bent as much as we would like. Pressing both feet on the mat. Stepping back into a lunge again, this time with our right leg back. With our arms above our head, sinking back down a little bit, bending that left knee. Inhaling for a breath or so. Exhaling. Coming back to your breath anytime you lose focus. Bringing your hands down to palm center, we're just going to do a twist here placing our right elbow on our left knee and opening up our arm to the side, opening up our chest, adding a little bit of balance in here as we wake ourselves up. Breathing, coming back to that breath anytime that you lose it. Bring your hands back up above your head, undoing that twist. Then we'll open up into Warrior Two just briefly, seeing how our balance is this morning. Making sure that we thank ourselves for taking this time. And whatever pose you're in today is your pose. So we'll just bring our arm forward, dropping our elbow onto our shin of our bent leg, sweeping our arm up above, opening up our chest again in the middle of a twist. Making sure that you're not shortening your exhales, coming back up into Warrior Two with our arms out, dropping ourselves back into Humble Warrior, or rather Reverse Warrior, depending upon your hand placement. And then coming back, swiveling back around, bringing our hands up over our head, back into that lunge, stepping back, both feet up to the top of the mat. If you want to add in a little bit of a back bend here, when you're ready, bring your palms down through heart center and sweep our arms back up, moving right back into a lunge on the other side. Crescent lunge with our arms up to the ceiling in the sky. Bring your hands down to palm center this time, if that's more comfortable for you. And this time we'll take that twist, dropping our elbow to our knee, opening up our arms. Remember, if at any time you fall out of a pose or you need to adjust a pose based on where your balance or the sand underneath your feet, metaphorically or literally, do what works for you. Come back to your breath, come back to your posture. Any version of the pose is the pose, because half of the battle was just getting to this place. So when you're ready, bring your arms back up into a crescent lunge above our head. Find your breath, find your balance. Maybe close your eyes if you're comfortable with that. And then open right up into Warrior Two on this side. Dropping into that front knee. Lengthening out your arms to the sides. Imagining that you can open your chest by stretching your arms out wide. And drop your elbow down to your bent knee. Open up your left arm up to the sky. Opening up your chest. Feeling free to look down at the floor, up at the ceiling or the sky, or straight before you. Making sure that you're breathing. If you have distractions around you, just let them be there. Let them join you. When you're ready, come back to a lunge, and then step your front foot, back foot to meet your front foot, arms up, and then bring them down through center, palms at your chest. Sweeping them up on an inhale breath one more time. Swan diving forward into a forward fold. Hands to shins for a halfway lift. Drop yourself down, and this time we're going to jump back into a plank as best as we can. Let's move through a chaturanga flow into an upward facing dog. Exhale back to downward dog. This time maybe it feels a little different than before. Notice what you need, notice what's different. Then bring your feet down, knees down. Sink your hips back towards your heels into child's pose with your arms outstretched in front of you. And just rest. Come back to your breath. Feel what it feels like to have your forehead down on the ground, your back stretched out this way, your arms stretched out this way, and yourself completely tucked in. On your next breath, rise yourself back up to a tabletop position, arms underneath your shoulders, and then open up your right arm up to the ceiling, coming in to thread the needle next. And on an exhale breath, sweep it through, bringing that right shoulder down to the mat, dropping the right side of your face to the mat, and coming into a twist. If you'd like to sink your hips back towards your heels more like child's pose, you're welcome to, or keep them upright. Whatever feels good for you today. And we'll move into a little bit more movement after this, but with this class being just an intro to your waking up, I encourage you, if you would like more, to check out one of the full-length class recordings that are available, or use this on a regular basis in the mornings or whenever you need just a little bit of a wake up to stretch yourself out. These postures can be done regularly as a way to just get some movement into our spine and twist and breathe. And coming back to just taking even just a few minutes to yourself, to just be with yourself, your body, your breath, and let your mind worry about what it needs to worry about later. Right now, you're just here, being in this pose, breathing deeply, maybe making your exhales even longer than your inhales to calm your nervous system. Taking a couple more breaths here. Sinking your hips back if you'd like to, or noticing what it feels like to point your forehead down on the mat and roll your face side to side, massaging that space between the eyebrows, or doing nothing different at all. Noticing what it's like to be in this twist, knowing that we'll get the chance to do this on the other side as well. Feel what that twist feels like in the opposite direction, and never judging ourselves if one side feels different than the other side, because while we may look symmetrical, it's okay that we use our bodies in ways that allow one side to be more flexible or mobile or tired. We can always strive for more balance, starting with an inhale and an exhale. And when you're ready, plant your left arm back down, open that right arm back up to the ceiling, and then place it back down next to your left under your shoulders. And we'll flow through a few cat-cows, inhaling, dropping our belly, exhale, curling our spine, dropping our head, and flowing through this for a few breaths, just moving our spine back in this position where it moves both sides of our shoulders in similar ways. Just feeling into how things feel now, maybe differently than they did a few minutes ago. And when you're ready, we'll move right into the other side, planting the right arm, lifting the left, sweeping it under, and dropping the left side of our face down on the mat this time. And adjusting your arm placement as you'd like. Maybe your shoulder on this side needs something different. It's okay. But settling in here for the next few minutes on this side of thread the needle. Always coming back to your breath, adjusting your hips back if you feel more comfortable doing that. Just making sure that you aren't so comfortable that you'll fall asleep, but you're definitely feeling that sensation and sitting with it and using your breath as a guide. Allowing what comes up to come up, just riding the waves of the physical and emotional sensations that we experience throughout yoga. Taking a big inhale and seeing what that feels like in your lower back and your shoulder. Notice if you can feel an expansion on the inhale and a contraction on the exhale, and anywhere in your body. And just use this as a focus or an anchor point if you ever lose track of feeling peaceful, calm, or at ease during a class. focusing your breath and your sensational awareness in a specific place can help us when we're feeling anxious, overwhelmed, or just preoccupied with thoughts that we would rather take a break from for now. Just direct your breath to feeling an expansion of your lungs and a contraction through the inhale and the exhale. Maybe you like to use a visualization, such as a wave coming to shore, and taking little bits of sand back with it when it goes back out to the ocean, arriving just as it needs to, calmly washing up maybe, and then calmly easing its way back out to the sea. Maybe that wave feels stormy at first, but through focus and intention and our imagination, it becomes a little calmer, and then it just becomes a rhythm. And so when you're ready, plant your arm back down, open your arm back up, and come back through those cat-cows. Inhaling, dropping your belly. Exhale, dropping your head. And moving through postures at your pace. My offers are just a suggestion. I'm just a guide, but this is your time with your body and your breath. So take what you need. Never feeling the need to rush, you can always pause. You can always take longer on your own. And you can always do something that you prefer on your time schedule. Moving your body is the focus. And so next pose we'll move into is toes pose. We'll be tucking our toes under and coming back to sit our heels on our toes. And this is probably one of our more sensational postures in Yin. And I like to use it after these opening postures to really make sure that we open the bottoms of our feet. So with your toes tucked and your heels up to the sky or back to the wall behind you, set your hips back on them. Place your hands maybe on the mat in front of you or on your shin or your knees or your thighs. Maybe sitting back on your heels doesn't work today and you want to have your hands planted on the mat in front of you, or you'd like to place something between your heels and your seat. Take whatever works for you. The focus here is on just noticing the bottoms of our feet, opening them up, keeping all 10 toes tucked under, and just really leaning into what it truly means to ride the wave of sensation. As I mentioned, this is one of our most sensational postures, and so if you're worried that all Yin classes will feel exactly like this, just know that this is one of the more intense postures. And you can use your breath to just breathe through it. Again, if you experience pain, please do something else. Don't hurt yourself in these classes. I don't mean pain when I mean sensation. Just focus on your breath, imagining maybe that you can breathe all the way down into your feet. Tell them it's okay. And then maybe exhale out that stress out of the bottom of your feet. Imagining that they have jet fuel on them or something. Maybe you want to look to one side or drop one ear to one shoulder and stretch out your neck so that you can focus on something else. But just be here in this posture now. Thank you for taking this time to open up a Yin class with me and Tails. We hope that you'll join us in one of our other classes, either here or somewhere live soon. Have a great day. Take a deep breath. And always remember to just ride the waves.